The world is a cruel place, and it will try to get you down in any way it can. When you are living on a very low income, this can be even more difficult than usual. It's not like there's money to just throw away on things that don't matter. That's why I want to talk about some of the things that you should avoid when living on a very low income. Don't buy things you don't need. We're not asking you to swear off everything that costs money. We are, however, asking you to make sure that if you buy something, it's something that actually adds value to your life and isn't just another thing in the house gathering dust. We all have things we want and maybe even need, but don't have the money for right now. That's okay. Putting those items on hold until they fit into your budget is better than buying things out of impulse or because it feels good at the time, which only leads to regret later. Don't buy expensive gifts for holidays and birthdays. It's fine to splurge on a birthday or holiday gift for someone you've been dating for several months, but otherwise it's best not to spend too much money on gifts. If you're living in a crazy low-income situation, try buying generic gifts or making homemade ones instead. When it comes to holidays and birthdays, we often feel pressure from our family members or even just ourselves to buy expensive presents for everyone. So much so that sometimes it can be hard not to feel guilty if we don't have enough money for something extravagant. But before you do anything else this year during the holiday season, remember there's nothing wrong with giving people simple gifts without spending too much money on them. Avoid credit card debt by all means. It's very important to avoid credit card debt by all means. Credit card debt is a trap. It's very expensive and hard to get out of, and it's a bad idea for low-income people in general. If you have some extra money lying around and want to spend it on something that will help you live your life with more freedom, buy a home or a car using a secured credit line instead of using your plastic on stuff like clothes, food, or video games. Don't compare yourself with others. You may think you're comparing yourself to others, but in reality, it's more like you're comparing your life to their social media profiles. You see them posting about how fabulous their vacations are and how great their kids are and how amazing their partner is. And then you start to feel bad about yourself. You might be thinking that the solution is easy. Just unfriend those people on Facebook or delete them from Instagram so they don't goad you into feeling bad. But that doesn't really solve anything. If a friend of yours has money to spend on vacations, then good for him, he earned it. If your coworker got promoted before you did, well, that sucks. But maybe he'll get fired in 6 months because he was a terrible boss who treated his employees badly. Maybe not. Either way, it has nothing to do with whether or not anyone owes anything to anyone else. Life isn't fair, and sometimes unfairness works out for everyone. Don't eat out unless you absolutely have to. There are two main ways to avoid wasting money on food: eating at home and buying food that's fair trade. Eating out is expensive. When you eat at a restaurant, you're paying for the meal plus all of the costs associated with running that business, from rent to staff wages to delivery trucks and so on. If possible, and it usually is, cook at home instead of going out to eat. You'll save money, plus you'll have more control over what goes into your body in terms of both nutrition and ingredients. A win-win. It's important to understand that living in a low-income neighborhood is not something we all dream of. Living in an area where most people are struggling financially can be very stressful, especially since there seem to be few options for getting out of this situation. However, by following these tips, you will be able to make life as comfortable as possible and maybe even find some joy in your circumstances.